You see the hundreds and hundreds of lights out on the interstates that you travel every night.
Yeah, but you pay taxes and you want them to be maintained, right? Who is not doing their job? Our Hannah Ward is on your side to find out. She's joining us now live on I-65. Hannah?
Hey, Bree. Yeah, a lit area like this is hard to come by on I-65. I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, all of these lights on both sides of the interstate are actually working in this area, but we found the same problem on Red Mountain Expressway and I-5920. Now, even if you find a few miles near an exit that has lights, it's not long before it goes dark again. We want answers, so first things first. I wanted to see if this problem is widespread. I mean, literally from this exit to the next, I don't think one of them is working. It's definitely not isolated by any stretch of road. After this, my questions multiplied. I called AlDOT first, who says they are only responsible for the lights where the interstate doesn't fall in a city, which led to a long list of people to contact.
Hey, this is Hannah Ward with Fox 6.
After several phone calls,
Some questions about interstate lighting.
and emails,
So I'm trying to get to the bottom of who's responsible for replacing some of these lights.
the answer: several people. In fact, AlDOT told me that more than one city could be responsible for a small stretch of interstate, which might be where some of these lights are falling off the map. Because speaking with a city like Hoover, for example, they say they know exactly where their light maintenance area starts and stops, but still had some confusion on what areas other cities were responsible for keeping up. Vestavia Hills admits that they are still confused about which areas are their responsibility, stating, quote, "The city recognizes that there are issues with the lights on I-65 South and are continuing to communicate and collaborate between the multiple entities to successfully identify ownership." AlDOT says that there are areas that Homewood is responsible for, but other cities did not know where on the interstate that would be, and I was unable to get an answer from Homewood. As far as the city of Birmingham goes, AlDOT says they are responsible for Red Mountain Expressway, where I counted more than 100 lights out, starting at I-5920 all the way to 21st Avenue exit. Birmingham is also responsible for several miles of I-65. Part of that area is under construction, but almost the entire stretch of I-65 going through downtown is dark. Yeah, guys, so still a lot of unanswered questions, but you know what? We want to hear from you. If your commute home at night is dark, a lot like this drive right now. Now, if the lights are out in your area, we want you to pull up our news app right now, find this story, and fill out a form. Now, I am not going to give up on getting these lights back on, guys. Live in Birmingham, Hannah Ward, WPRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
All right, thanks, Hannah.
Well, no matter where you are, it's probably a dark night, at least on part of the interstates in central Alabama.
Last night we showed you lights out on I-65 and asked why aren't they getting fixed. Tonight our Hannah Ward is now asking those questions about another stretch of interstate. Hannah, tell us what you found out.
Well, guys, I want everyone at home to take a look at this video playing in the monitor behind me. Now, they both look very similar, but there's a big difference. Now, this one to the far side, that's I-5920. Now, the video over here, that's a county road. Now, they're dangerously similar, and that has some drivers staying off the interstate at night.
Carl Turner saw the story that we did on the interstate lighting last night, focusing on I-65 and Red Mountain Expressway. He, like several others, went to our website and filled out areas on the interstate that they have issues with. We got an overwhelming response of people fed up with dark interstates.
There's no lights. It's black right there.
Turner had an accident recently and has relied on friends and family to drive him back and forth to appointments. One evening on the way home from a checkup,
He was trying to avoid something on the road, and as he swerved, I heard the tire blow out.
Turner says it was so dark on the roads that by the time they could see the object on the road, it was too late. But that's not the only trouble that no lights cause for them.
Another guy pulled up behind us, and we had the flashes on. He shined his headlights so we could change the tire. Yeah, I was pretty scared.
To see for ourselves, we drove the same route. From Tallapoosa Street exit to Roebuck Parkway, barely any lights. Both videos you see on the screen are from the same area, one in the daytime where we can clearly see that there are lights there, and one at night where we can also see that they're not working. We're working with AlDOT to get a map or a list of who is responsible for which lights along the interstate to make sure that it lines up with what the cities think that they are in charge of maintaining. We believe that this is where some of the confusion is and why some of these lights are being left in the dark.
So if you know any dark areas along interstates, tell us about them so that we can get to working on those too. Now, you can go to our news app. You can see I have it pulled up here, and you can click on this story, scroll down a little bit, and you should be able to find it. And then if you scroll to the bottom of their story, there's an area located where you can, where you can put in all that information, like where this is located, what county, what city. That all is a great way for all this information to be combined in one area for us so that we can keep looking at all this for you guys.
All right, Hannah, thank you.
Are still dark tonight. Lights out up and down I-65, 459, 2059, and the Red Mountain Expressway.
Our Hannah Ward sat down with AlDOT tonight to get answers. Hannah?
In looking into who is responsible for these interstate lights, I've really felt like I've needed my own roadmap just to navigate all this information. But tonight, sitting down with AlDOT, I got a lot of those questions answered, and AlDOT simply says that they are not responsible for any interstate lights that are inside city limits.
When the lights are originally installed on the interstate, there is an agreement signed between the city and the state. And according to AlDOT, they are only responsible for putting the lights there.
The city will agree to maintain and repair those lights upon completion of the project.
After that, AlDOT is not responsible for any upkeep of those lights. It's also the city's responsibility to know what lights fall in their city limits.
So y'all do y'all have a map of that y'all keep track of?
I don't have one, no.
So I made one by looking at the city limit maps of Hoover, Homewood, Birmingham, and Vestavia Hills. Then I marked which stretch of interstate falls in those city limits. Some of the areas that you see that are blank, I could not find a city limits map for that city. But on the interstates of the areas I did find, there are several lights out.
Are there any penalties that come with it if the city just straight up continues to ignore it?
None that I'm aware of.
So kind of what do y'all do?
It's the city's responsibility, and again, if we see issues with it, we tell them what we see, and then, they're responsible for taking it from there.
He says they send letters to mayors on a regular basis to remind them of their responsibility.
We send out names of several different lighting or electrical contractors that we deal with in case they need assistance or looking for someone to help repair their stuff.
Now, AlDOT says the city can use their own manpower to get those lights fixed, or like you said, they have the option to contract that work out as well. Live in Birmingham, Hannah Ward, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
We're on your side tonight, getting results after our investigation of why so many lights are out on our local interstates. Hannah Ward's been doing the digging. She's live along a dark I-65 tonight with what our reporting has produced. Hannah?
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, I spoke with Homewood's mayor as well as Gardendale's mayor, and they say this is something that they're aware of and they're working on it now. Now, we're on the side of I-65 in Homewood, and I'm going to get my photographer to turn out these lights real fast so that you can see how dark it is out here. Now, imagine being out here and trying to fix a flat tire. All I have to say is good luck.
In November, I did 3 stories on our dark interstates, and it not only got the attention of the drivers.
I think your story got a lot of attention, and it caught mine.
We were beginning to get some phone calls about interstate lights being out.
This month, Homewood looked into outages, and it turned into a criminal investigation.
Somebody had removed the plate covers from each of those light poles and was stripping the wiring from those interstate lights, so no wonder they weren't working.
Starting at Alfred Avenue all the way to Lakeshore, hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage.
We've turned that over to our insurance carrier, and then of course we'll get with our contractor who will come out and actually perform the work to get the lights back working again.
Gardendale also checking into outages.
Did y'all fix some of y'all's lights?
We did.
Recently?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
How many
Since your story.
Mayor Hoagland is the president of the Mayor's Association of Jefferson County, and he says there's been 10 new mayors in the county since 2016.
We've had such a changeover in Jefferson County that not sure all that information got carried on to the next administration.
He believes communication needs to be improved between cities and ALDOT.
They understand that we've all got a problem. And so, now we got to find a solution. It's got to be better communication. I think there's got to be, on the ALDOT side, communicating better with the cities, informing us, hey, this is your problem or this is our problem.
He believes that's something that ALDOT is willing to do.
When I talked to my contact with ALDOT, he was aware of your story. And so that, that helps us all, to kind of find these solutions. So it got us talking on the phone today.
Now, if you remember from my previous story, I drew up this map to show what the city is responsible for and what area on the highway. Now, because before this one, there wasn't one. Mayor Hoagland says that believes that this is some of that information that could be communicated a little bit better and that is unclear between the cities and ALDOT. Now, Gardendale is having their own map like this drawn up so they can know what areas they're responsible for. Now, there's a lot of moving parts in this story. Coming up tonight at 10, find out more about that criminal investigation going on involving Homewood interstate lights. Live in Birmingham, Hannah Ward, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
After our multiple reports on dark interstate cities started looking at the interstate lights and fixing them in Homewood, their investigation into the outage ended in an arrest. Our Hannah Ward has worked on these stories for about a month now. She joins us alongside I-65. Hannah?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, right when Homewood started coming out here, looking at these light poles, trying to figure out what the problem was, it was pretty clear immediately because this whole bottom part was tampered with and the wires that were supposed to be inside were missing. Now, police started investigating this a few weeks ago, and within 36 hours, they have made an arrest. They say that they have arrested 61-year-old Raymond Edward Liberty. He is charged with theft of property, criminal mischief, possession of burglary tools, and criminal tampering. Homewood says that they are glad that the guy was caught, and they said that it is time to get with the insurance and get these lights fixed. Unfortunately, they do not have a timeline for that.
Say that would be up to the contractors. We'd want them out there working on it today if they could. So just as quickly as we can get the interstate lit back up, we'll certainly be doing that.
Now, there are a lot of moving parts to the stores and getting these lights put back on here on the interstate. I also spoke with Gardendale's mayor this afternoon. Now, I'm going to make sure you follow me on my Facebook page. It's Hannah Ward, WBRC. I'm going to be doing an update on all that we have so far and all the work that the mayors are doing right now. Live in Birmingham, Hannah Ward, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
So I just wanted to update y'all on the story I've been working on with the interstate lighting. Hey, Joanne. Obviously, there's been a lot of people you guys who've commented about that and expressing your concerns. But just to let you know, I'm still working on that. You saw an update tonight at 10. But we're still following, still a lot of unanswered questions, but still a lot of work to be done too. Hey, Liz. So basically what I wanted to show y'all today. So today I spoke with ALDOT, got an interview with them, talked about the contracts that I've heard some things about when calling the cities, also learning more about, what those contracts consist of, if there's any maps drawn out of the areas that the cities are responsible for, or if they're just responsible for knowing this, and then several other things. I have a whole list of questions that the ALDOT person that I sent over to him, he answered them all for me and gave me a copy of it, which was really nice. But also talking more about 5920, because the little Google Doc that we put up on our website and asked you guys to go fill out if y'all had any areas that are really dark and that you guys can't see, because we wanted to get those addressed, of course. And a lot of them were 5920. So asking them about that and who is responsible, because earlier when I spoke with some people at AlDOT, there was some confusion, so I wanted to clear those up for my own sake too, so that I could, you know, accurately inform you guys. But I'm going to show y'all. So basically, if you're just now kind of following this story, if you've driven on interstates in central Alabama, they're really dark at night, and it's because all of the lighting up and down the roads are out. And I know the lights are there because I've driven the routes in daytime, gotten video, showed you guys that comparison as well, but they're just not working. Hey, Robert. So we're, you know, kind of working to figure out who's responsible for replacing them. We started with AlDOT, kind of got somewhere, but it's been, you know, a lot of phone calls, a lot of driving, and a lot of research. So we're bringing it all to you guys as we collect it. But I'm going to start. So today, if you watched my story, you found out that the cities, basically, whenever AlDOT builds a road, or say they do a lane expansion and they add in that light, or those lights up and down that road, they enter a contract with the city where the interstate, so wherever that stretch of interstate falls within a city limits, that city is responsible for the upkeep and the maintenance of those lights. So replacing the light bulbs, say there's a wreck and one gets knocked down, the city is responsible for replacing it. Basically, after AlDOT puts the light poles in, it's out of their hands and it's the city's responsibility. Now, if there's a stretch of interstate where that does not fall in a municipality or a city, then AlDOT's responsible for upkeep of those lights. But a lot of the areas fall in municipalities. So I asked, hey Lucy, I went to Birmingham today and road work everywhere going on. Thought about time, but headache too. Yes, a lot of road work going on. So if y'all driving in the 5920 area, interchange with 65 or even with Red Mountain Expressway, make sure y'all are going slow. The speed limit there is 40. There are lane changes. There are a lot of crazy stuff going on. So it's so important for you guys to be going 40 miles per hour in that area. Hey James, hey Jesse. So just wanted to show y'all again, I asked for a map in Hammer Hoagland. Okay, he just says we just repaired several of ours in Gardendale. That's great to hear. But anyways, I was asking AlDOT for a map of kind of if they have one of, you know, the city municipalities split up, and to show kind of, you know, the cities, which ones they are responsible for. But they told me that it's the city's responsibility to know what lights they're responsible for. So I went and made my own map. I'm going to turn it around now. So literally I have like all these, well, I have so many tabs pulled open right now that none of them are working. But anyways, long story short, all of these are city maps. So going to the city website and finding what they consider their city limits, so then I can know that obviously they're the ones that are putting that out there. So if that is on an interstate, then that they should be responsible for those lights. And when the camera's turned around, sometimes people have a hard time hearing me. So comment below if you can't hear me, if I need to speak louder. So basically, going through all these maps took me about 2 hours today. Going through all these maps, finding what road the municipality might end, and then finding that on my map so that I could point it out to you guys. Felt like it was doing a school project. But anyways, I found all the areas. So here's all the areas that Birmingham's responsible for. And this is right before the Valley exit right there. And then Homewood's responsible all the way to right past Alfred Avenue. And then the Hoover and Vestavia, it's kind of all mumbled together. So I've color coordinated it. So I'm gonna put this on the web story too. So Hoover, Vestavia, Homewood, Birmingham. I'm gonna put this on the web story, but I'm not done with the map. I'm gonna keep kind of tracking it down through these areas. I couldn't find, but I have to get in touch with some of these municipalities because I couldn't find the city limits maps on their website, so I need to get in touch with them to get those, but we're going to continue going and finding all these areas down 5920, and then if you go up, we're going to find all the areas that are responsible up here, because those are some of the areas of complaints that we got as well. And then if you want to fill out those forms, it's not too late. Let me show you how you can do it. So if you have areas that are really dark and that you want to us to look into, there's a form on our website that you can go and fill out. I'll show it to you. Just give me 1 minute. And if y'all have any questions, just comment on those below. Hey Herbert, yes, we've heard about the boom. We've heard about it all day. We've had several calls about it. In fact, we've kind of had to use the process of elimination to try to find out what that boom was, but it was heard in several counties. But we're still working on that. We've made several phone calls. Give me 1 minute and I'll update you on that. What was that latest update that we just got on the boom? Okay, so we've talked to NASA and they're still trying to figure out as well. I'm having my own newscast. Yeah, I'm still. You want to say hey?
Hello, good evening. Hey.
They told me I was having my own newscast. I'll let y'all be featured in it. Okay, so in my web story tonight, I'm going to put this same thing in here, but this is in a different web story. I'll turn it around so you can see. But basically, it's going to be at the bottom of the page, and it's going to be an area for you to fill out what interstate or highway, what county, what city or municipality, and any other details, and then your name if you want to talk to us, or really just put your name and phone number in there just so that I can have that information just in case. I want to get in contact with you and ask you a question about maybe exactly where it's located, what exit it's close to. I've taken very detailed notes as my coworker has driven me all the way down 65, all the way down 5920, about what areas the lights are out the most. And then I'm making this map so that if you guys want to go to it and see, you know, knowing what areas you have issues with, you can see what municipality or city is responsible for those. Let's see, we got some questions. And I noticed my lights out on 459 North along I-20 starting at exit 1. I'm glad someone is working on this. Yes, we are happy to work on it. Yeah, hey Chris, my private newscast. Jerry, maybe Aldott should fix all the lights and then build the appropriate city. Yeah, you know, I asked them, I said, well, I was like, are there no penalties, or do you not get in trouble for not upkeeping your lights? And they said no. I guess there's nothing in the contract. I've asked for the contract from Aldott that they have between the cities, but he said no, you know, it's the city's responsibility. I guess, you know, you can't hold people's hand, but basically they said that they do send letters to the mayors and ask them to, or remind them that it's their responsibility. Just to remind them and make sure that they're keeping up with that. Okay, a lot of people asking about the boom. Hey, Melody. Let me get that latest for you. Hey, Ashlyn. Bree Season was working on that earlier. She had a ton of stuff, a ton of calls she made. And basically, like I said, it's just kind of been a process of elimination. We've eliminated a lot of things that it's not, but we haven't really nailed down exactly what it is. And we're not the only ones still trying to figure out what it is. In fact, NASA is still looking into it as well, but we'll of course bring that to you guys as soon as we get it. But I just wanted to get on here real fast and update you about the Aldott interstate lighting stuff. So Aldott says it's the cities that are responsible. They're the ones that need to fix it. We have a contract agreement. We have an agreement with them that they'll do so. So now my next step is to call the municipalities and get in touch with them. I've gotten several of the people's numbers that I need to contact. So I'm going to get in contact with them and see what the holdup is. So again, if y'all have any of those areas that you want me to look into, I'll post my web story on my Facebook page, and you can go in there and write what areas you want to be looked at.